Hey everyone, this is Heather and this is going to be a quick introduction to our Scany tool, which is a swing based scanner, and it's a really powerful tool. So I'd like to spend some time on it, and I'll go into some examples and show you how we can use it to find really good swing setups that you can then trade and become profitable. So let's dive right into the tool. There's so much stuff to cover. So on the top, similar to how we have filters for other tools, we have these filters for price, for volume, for change, for market cap, for sector, for analysts, for PE ratio, for profit margins, and for a whole bunch of other things. These days, short interest is a really popular filter, so you have that as well. And then you have a column for short interest here as well. Then we have a bunch of scanners. So these are not this is not the most comprehensive scanning set out there. By the time you are watching this video, we might have added a bunch of other scanners, so just know that we are always trying to improve this tool to make it as comprehensive as we possibly can. But what we have here right now is each button is a scanning signal, and if you hover over this question mark icon, you'll get an explanation on what this scanner is. So golden cross is a signal where the 20 moving average crosses the 50 moving average, and you can see that here. You can see we have some divergence scanners, we have uptrends, downtrends, we have these pivot guns and pivot booms. These are out of something that's called the strat. I'd recommend you Google this word, the strat, and read up more on it. It's a really powerful tool. Then we have relative strength, engulfing candles. Then we have support levels, resistance levels, volume change, Bollinger Bands, volume shelf, synthetic wicks, AIs agree, and then cup and handle, which is again a really famous pattern, volatility squeeze, and some other ones as well. So for each of the stock every day, when the market close, we go over every stock in our database of stocks, and we try to find all of these scanners in the price section, and whatever is there we try to add it into the signals column. So for, let's say, AA, today we are in a strong uptrend on daily chart, and please remember that this is the entire scanner works on top of daily chart, since this is a swing scanner. Today we had a strong uptrend, we had an yearly high, we have all our AI tools agreeing with each other. We had a buy signal in the last 5 days, but we have a trendline resistance and we have a pivot gun signal right now. So let's quickly go through the chart for A to see what's actually happening. So let me show you why those signals are there. So when we are saying that we have a trend line resistance, this is what we are talking about. So we have this trend line that has been acting as a resistance level for quite a while, and we are right at this resistance level, which is why you are seeing this trend line resistance. However, everything else looks really good. So on a yearly level, we are at all-time highs based on the previous year's chart. And then let's see what other signals do we have. We have a buy in the last 5 days. So whenever you see a buy or a sell in the last 5 days, that's based on support and resistance levels. You've seen me talk about support and resistance levels a lot in the last few videos, because that's a really powerful tool to find entry and exits. So the reason you see a buy in the last 5 days is because if you look here, you can see that this was a resistance level that we broke here, and then we broke here again. So this was probably an alert by our algorithm that said buy in the last 5 days. And if you had entered here, you can see that you would have gone from here to here, because this was a break of a resistance. When a resistance is broken, it becomes a support, which is a really good signal for your entry. So that's what we have for AA. So now let's say we were trying to find stocks that were on a trendline resistance. What we can do is we can just click on this, and anything that has a trendline resistance would come in. And we have a trendline resistance here. How can we use it? And we have all these other bullish signals. So overall, we can see that all of these signals are positive, but we have a resistance, and whenever you reach a resistance, you want to exit if you already had a good entry. So if you entered here or here or here, you can see that you entered on the break of the resistance line, and all of the next 5 candles were positive. So you had pretty decent profits where you went from about 34 or 35 to about 37 or 38. 37.15 is the current price. Now that's a $2 profit per share, and we can see that now that we are on a resistance, we can either partially exit or we can exit our position because the resistance level has reached. Or we can wait if we believe that this resistance is going to be crossed again, and then that resistance becomes a support. We can just wait and let the price action cross this trend line as well, and then that would even be a higher confidence setup because now we have crossed both the horizontal and the trend line resistance. So this was just one example of one stock where we looked at the signals, we went to the price action, and we found a bunch of things that are going both in bulls and bears favors. So whatever setup you want to follow, if you are a bull and you want to go bullish on the stock, then you have these signals that are going to help you increase your confidence for your position. Let's see something else. So let's see, we have for AL, we have a strong uptrend, obviously, then we have a trend line resistance, and we have an engulfing candle. I want to see something. Okay, so we have Apple, again we are at a resistance, but there was also a buy signal in the last 5 days. Let's see if we can find something else. Alright, so a quick thing that we'll do before we go with some of the setups is this short interest. So this short interest, you can just click on this column to sort the entire table based on short interest, and if you are trying to look for potential short squeezes, then this might be a really good column to sort by, because all of these stocks that you're seeing here have a really high short interest. So MVIS is a really good example because it moved up a lot in the last few days. You can see that it moved from here to here, and now it's going down. And there is a reason that it's going down is because of the high short interest. But this was a potential squeeze. You saw the short interest signal here about a week ago as well, a very high short interest signal. So if you had seen that signal and you saw that the price broke this resistance level, you could have entered here, and then you would have gone from here to here, and that would be like massive profits. So that's how you want to use all of these signals. But now that the short interest is high again and we are going down, let's see what else do we have for MBIS. So we have a strong uptrend, we have high relative strength, and we have a volume shelf. So volume shelves are a really useful tool, and similar to how we have horizontal and trend line and anchored VWAP support and resistance levels, if there is a huge volume shelf beneath the current price, then that can act as a support level as well. So when the tool is saying that there is a volume shelf right below the price, we can actually see that because there is a support level at this price level as well. So that's a signal that tells us that this might be a potential entry for us if we are bullish on MVIS, because the short interest is high, that can cause short squeezes. We fell down quite a bit in the last 3 days, but we have fallen down right on a support level, which was again previously a resistance level that we broke here. Now that we have fallen down on the resistance level, that resistance level, since it was crossed before, now it has become a support level. So we might want to enter right away. Let's say if we go down below this support level, then we have our exit right away, and that's why you want to always trade based on these support and resistance levels, because one, they provide you a really meaningful reward to risk, but second, if those levels are broken, then you can exit right away. So that's a really good strategy. Obviously there are other strategies. You can see that at this point the 20 moving average and 50 moving average converged, and the 20 moving average went up again. So this could have been a golden cross because there was a crossover, but the 20 moving average prevailed and it went up from here. Another signal here would be, you can see that this anchored VWAP line, this acted as a really beautiful support here, and the price went up from here. So there are a bunch of signals here that you could have followed if you had looked at the price action, and you could have seen the high short interest. So you would have seen the high short interest, you would have gone to the chart, and you would have seen a bunch of things that are going in bull's favor. even right now, and then you go in, and then let's say a week ago, you'll see all of those signals here as well. Let's see if we can find something else. So I want to go over Clove as well, because this is a setup that we traded a few days ago. This is a really good one. So let's see what do we have for Clove. So we have a strong downtrend, but we have a buy in the last 5 days. And now we have an anchored VWAP resistance, we have pivot gun, we have high relative strength, and then we have high volume change. So high volume change is always good, because if the volume increases significantly, that means more people are trading the stock, and that increases the volatility and gives you more entries and exits. So let's see what's there on the chart. So you can see that when this was IPO'd, from that point till now, we have this anchored VWAP line, which is the volume weighted average price. And what happens is when we are going down from a top with the anchored VWAP line, then the anchored VWAP line becomes a resistance, and if we are going from bottom to the top, then the line becomes a support. So since we are coming from the top to down, we can see that right at this point, the anchored VWAP acted as a resistance even here as well. And we didn't enter right here, but right here we have this beautiful resistance level. You can see it. We couldn't enter here because we were not aware of the stock, but when this went down, this crossed this support level, but then it went above this resistance level, because when we cross the support, it becomes a resistance. Now we have crossed the resistance again here. So that's where the Scany gave a buy in the last 5-day signal. That was the first day where the Scany gave a buy in the last 5-day signal, because we have just crossed the resistance line again. And at this point in time, if you just go down, you can see that the short interest previously had been pretty high as well. So this was again a low risk entry, and the short interest had been very high in the last few days. So there was a possibility of a good rally. And when we entered here, we actually got that rally. And today we went down, but from this point in time, we are still positive in terms of our stock position. And you can see buy in the last 5 days is working really well. But now you can see that we closed right at this anchored VWAP resistance, because we closed below it. Now this level is going to act as a resistance. If we had closed above it, then this level would be a support, but we have broken this level again, as you can see, and now this is going to act as a resistance again tomorrow, which is why you are seeing this resistance signal. So whenever you're seeing all these resistance signals, you want to exit, and whenever you see a support signal and there is no resistance, then that is your entry. Let's say you want to enter into Clove. What you're going to do is you're going to wait till we go above this resistance level, because this is acting as a resistance again and again. And when we close above this resistance level, that's where you are going to enter. Let's see if we can find something else. Right, so value zone is a really good filter. What happens is, let's see. So value zone tells you all the stocks that are between their 20 and 50 moving average, and most of the time whenever a stock is between the 20 and 50 moving average, that zone is called a value zone, because it provides you a good reward to risk, because the price is not at an all-time high and it's not at an all-time low. It is somewhere between its moving averages, and many times moving averages act as supports or resistances. So whenever the stock is somewhere in between, if you just go and look at the price action and you have some good signals along with this value zone filter, then many times you can find a really good setup on the price action. So let's see if we can quickly. So ATOS, we have ATOS. Let's see if something else that you folks are more familiar with is here. Let's see, give me 1 minute. Okay, so ATOS. So I think ATOS moved pretty well today. Right. So ATOS. Let's go to ATOS. You can see that this is in a value zone, and then we have an engulfing candle. Not this. we are in a value zone, we are above Bollinger Band, and then we had a very high volume change. But you can see that we are in a strong downtrend. You can see that here we have been in a long downtrend. What's happening here is, since you cannot see this price between these two values, that's because these, I believe, are exponential moving averages, and this value zone is based on simple moving averages. So based on simple moving averages, this right, the close right here actually falls somewhere between 20 and 50 moving average. And again, you can see that this anchored VWAP level is acting as a resistance, and we are in a strong downtrend. So this would be a case where if you are in ATOS, you might want to exit, because we just went into the value zone again, and we are in a strong downtrend. So whenever that's the case and you hit a resistance level, you want to just exit right away. If you are in a strong uptrend and you go into the value zone, then that value zone might become a support, because we are in an uptrend and we are dipping. So when we dip, we want to find a support. If we are in a downtrend and we go up, then above the current price is going to be resistance. So that's what we want to do. Let's see if we can find something else. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to try the volume shelf. Let's see if we have anything in cup and handle, because this is a really famous pattern that almost everyone knows about. So let's see, we have CVLY. Okay, this is really good. So you can see that this is the cup. So if you just follow the cursor, you will be able to see that this is a cup, and then this is the handle pattern. And this is a really powerful pattern where you have a cup formation, then you have a handle formation, and then you just shoot and you go in a long uptrend. So what we are expecting here is, since this is the cup and handle pattern, we have this last resistance. So let's say tomorrow we break this resistance level, we have the moving average, we break it as well. That is going to provide us a really good setup where we can just go bullish and we would be profitable. One more thing we can see here is that, let me see, we are again on a horizontal resistance as well. So again, this is a setup that looks really good for a bullish run, but we need to wait for a few days until we cross both of these levels, and then we go in. Alright, I'm going to use just one more filter before I wrap up this video. So I really like where is the volume shelf? I really like this volume shelf filter because it provides excellent support levels without having to draw any support or resistance lines by yourself. Whenever you see this volume shelf filter and you apply it, anything that you are getting in the results is actually on a really good support. So let's see if that's actually a case or not. So we have Nokia, we have OCGN, and we have Ostk. Alright, so Nokia is here, and you can see that if you go from here, now this price is actually on the support level, and that's why we are saying that there is a volume shelf. Now where's that shelf? You see these long two shelves here. Now this shelf is the volume shelf that the Scany was trying to find, and it found it. And since we have a volume shelf below the current price, it's going to act as a really strong support level. If we had the volume shelf above the current price, then that is going to act as a really strong resistance level. I'll explain why that happens in some other video, but that's just a quick rule that you can learn. Let's see if we can find something else. We have Ostk. With Ostk, again, we are saying that this is either a support or resistance level based on where the price is going. And you can see that this is not an excellent support level, but still there were so many times when the price touched this level and went up or down. You can see it here, you can see it here, and then you can see it here and here as well. And since we have broken this level and the volume shelf is below it, there are two volume shelves here. There is this one, and then there is this one. And since the price is above the volume shelf right now, the volume shelf might act as a support level. Let's try one more and then we'll end the video. Now this is a case where the volume shelf is actually acting as a resistance. So you can see we have a resistance level here. We touched it here, 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 and we could not go above it. So, and now that we are saying that we have a volume shelf as well, that means that this level might act as a resistance. What do you want to do here? You want to wait until we break this resistance level, and you do not want to get in before that. Once we do that, now the volume shelf again becomes a support, and that's your entry. So I realized that I've talked a lot about support and resistance lines because those are really powerful, and we have many filters that can help you find those. And if you're just following those simple rules to get entries and exits, then you might realize that you are really profitable and you can find really good entries with high reward and low risk, and you don't have any other problems in trading. So there are obviously other filters such as volatility squeeze, GTM squeeze. This is a really famous one. Then we have breakouts. Then we have these buy in the last 5 days and sell in the last 5 days. So you can use those as well. So it's completely up to you to find the best set of filters that work well for you. I just wanted to show you a few examples on how we use some of these filters to find out really good picks. So for example, in the case of OCGN, we have a really good setup. We know that it's right at the resistance. We are going to put it in our watch list, and if it breaks the resistance, now we have a support right below the price, so we are going to enter in a bullish setup. Or if we were already bullish and we entered somewhere down in the price and now we are already up, let's say 20 to 30%, we are just going to exit because now we are at a resistance level. So that's how we use all these scanners to find setups, then go into them, trade them, and be profitable. So again, it's up to you to find the best set of filters for you. Then there are so many and we'll keep adding more, and so I'll just leave it to you to set the best set of filters and make really good trades. That was it for this video. This went a bit longer than I had anticipated, but thank you so much for watching it. I'm going to see you guys in the next video.